Every Ugandan on average gets about 5M.
Do you think Uganda is a middle class economy?
Well, middle class economy starts with understanding our GDP per capita, which is at $1,300, which means that every Ugandan on average gets about 5M, or maybe 4.8 million, which means that on average every Ugandan maybe takes about 400,000 shillings. Now, those are just generic statistics. Now, if you're saying that everyone is earning 400,000 Ugandan shillings, of that 400,000 Ugandan shillings, how much can they save? Fuel is now reaching about 7,000 shillings, which means that the price of things has gone up, which is a contradiction with what the U-Boss tells us is the inflation. They always put it at about 2%. But the basic is, if every Ugandan is earning 400,000 shillings, that alone is a disaster. That alone is a crisis. It simply means that's almost like saying that every Ugandan lives on about maybe $2 a day. I don't think that's something that you should be considering to be middle class or middle income.
So we are not middle class?
No, we're not. Middle income is simply gotten by your GDP divided by your population, right? But that's what I was saying. It's just generic.
Yeah.
But it should be able to be seen in the actual quality of life, standard of living of our people. So I'm telling you that even if you say that we have about maybe $62 billion worth of GDP, we have about 50 million people, that's $1,300, that's 400,000 shillings a month, that's about $2 a day. Is that really a quality of life that you would consider as middle income? So for me, in my opinion, no, it doesn't. I don't even think the government should be talking about it, because when we go into people who go into the real stats of it, it's saddening.
So what should we do?
Many things. The first one is we should aggressively go for a savings culture. Aggressively push for a savings culture, which unfortunately can only be done by the government. I'm saying unfortunately because I know the government, I'm not sure it has the capacity or the will to actually have a savings culture. We're a bit so extravagant in so many ways. Now, why am I saying that we should have a savings culture? Because in the financial world, investors are funded by the savers. So the more savings you have, the cheaper the money will be for investors to have. Okay, so out of the close to 40 banks that we have, maybe about 3 or 4 Ugandan banks, which means that most of our money that we actually borrow is borrowed from outside foreign money. So that makes it very hard for an investor to invest and increase economic activities. Once you increase economic activities, then we have a larger tax base, we have more production, we import less. So, but all of that starts with a savings culture, which I don't think that can be done, unfortunately.
Wait, if we're a bit more positive and gave governments the benefit of doubt that they would start saving and change that culture, how long do you think it would take us to achieve that status?
7 years minimum.
7 years?
Yeah,
that's
7
quite
years.
long.
I mean, for example, if you're saying that we're saving, that means that it will take us a good 3-4 years of discipline, of actual discipline, to have enough money that is required for us to be productive enough in this economy, isn't it? Now remember, if I start now borrowing money, right now we're in double digit, maybe 18% if you're lucky, borrowing money. But if we double the savings that we have and increase the number of local banks that we have, that means it will probably come to 9% if we're doing double, right, aggressively. So if I start getting money at 9%, I'm still not as competitive as I should be, because still importing will be cheaper. The Chinese borrow at maybe 2%, right? So if I'm borrowing at 9%, things will become much cheaper for me here, and then I'll have to produce. But it's also production can take you a year to 3.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when you add it up, I'm saying at earliest to reduce our import bill maybe by 30 to 40%. If we're very aggressive and disciplined, 7 years.
One message to the Ugandans?
One message to the Ugandans: give your lives to Christ.
Yeah?
Give your lives to Christ.
Oh, I thought you were going to be related to saving.
Yes, because you see, once you do things with Christ, you want to be greedy, you'll learn financial discipline, you'll love your neighbor just as you love yourself. If you love your neighbor just as you love yourself, you'll not be corrupt, you'll not be destructive, you'll not be a thief. You see what I'm saying? Life becomes easy. So just give your life to Christ.